Hello everybody and welcome back to the A-Side. I'm your host, Riley, and today I have gotten a review of the new Weezer album, Van Weezer. I know, we've been waiting a while. I've already done 2 videos on the singles for this album, and plenty of other videos on Weezer themselves. In fact, Weezer was the first band I covered, and I want you to know, going into this review, of course, I am a huge Weezer fan. I mean, I own this. The Rivers Cuomo Pop Funko. I've bought the Blue Album on 5 separate occasions. I'm wearing a Weezer shirt. Okay, so keep in mind hearing any opinions. This is from the opinion of someone who really loves Weezer. Now, before we get started, let's make sure and subscribe to my channel and leave a like on this video, because apparently when you say that, people do it. Like, I don't want to get off topic, but before I started telling people to subscribe, my subscriber count was going up pretty slowly, and when I started saying make sure you subscribe, my subscriber count started going up, and when I started saying like this video, my videos consistently got liked more. So yeah, go do that. Anyway, let's get into the review of Van Weezer. Now, I've known about this album for a very long time, me being a very huge Weezer fan that I am. I have known about this album since Rivers first teased it before the Black Album even came out, when he said this and OK Human were coming out. One was for the Piano Man, and the other one was for the Rock God. So I've known about this album for a very, very long time now. Of course, when the End of the Game dropped in 2019, I listened to that as soon as I could. I pre-ordered the blue glow-in-the-dark Van Weezer vinyl in 2019, over a year ago now, and it's still not here yet, but the album just came out yesterday. What am I going to do? So I've known about this for a long time, and I've been anticipating it for a really long time. And I have to say, when I first heard this album, I was very disappointed. It wasn't doing it for me at first. I thought it was just okay. But here's the thing. I was expecting way too much from an album called Van Weezer. I mean, look at the album cover. It's literally like just a random stock image of lightning bolts they pulled off the internet and put Van Weezer and the Van Halen text over. It's obviously not supposed to be taken that seriously. I was expecting another White Album, and I did not get another White Album. But I think this album delivers on what it was trying to be, and I think Weezer successfully made the album they wanted to make. It's just supposed to be a fun 80s metal throwback album. I use the term metal very lightly, because compared to what we consider metal today, the metal as in like Van Halen and songs like Jump, which is just more hard rock 80s metal, which I would consider to be something completely different than what I would refer to as heavy metal, you know. But that's beside the point. Just being a fun pop rock album. And I think this album really did deliver on that, because this album is, in fact, just a lot of fun to just crank up and drive with the windows down. It's springtime now, and when it gets warmer out and it's going to be summer, this is going to be a great summer album to drive around and just chill to and jam out to with the boys. It's so good and relaxing. Just a great album. That doesn't mean I don't have criticisms of it, because I do think it's great for what it is, but I do have my problems, and we will get into that. But there are things I like about the album, too. I like a lot of the synth play on this album. There are a lot of synthesizers on this album, and they're really intertwined in good places. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, of course, huge Van Halen inspiration. Take a listen to a song called Jump. That song is littered with synthesizers, so of course there are going to be some synths on this album. And I really like when Weezer plays with synthesizers. I mean, Tired of Sex is one of my favorite Weezer songs, so it's cool to see them doing that a little more here. You could hear them do that quite a bit on White as well, and I think it really worked in that album's favor, and I think it did as well. Also, a lot of the riffs here are really good. The riffage on this album is great. There are so many moments where I'm just like, yes, I want to jam out to this riff forever. And they're heavy and chunky and so good, and everything you'd want from Weezer. Rivers and Brian both do great jobs here. One thing with the guitar work, though, is for an album that's supposed to pay homage to Van Halen and Eddie Van Halen, being entitled Van Weezer, there really is a lack of, like, good guitar solos on this album. I really was expecting some wild, crazy, big guitar solos. And I mean, there were some alright guitar solos on this album, but they were very few and far between, and it's not really what I was expecting fully and what I wanted. Because being called Van Weezer, you think we'd have, huge guitar solos here and there and everywhere. Um, and overall, I think the writing in most spots is pretty good. There are very few moments from like Rivers. What's going on here? I think consistently for the most part, it's pretty good. I think everyone sounds great. Rivers sounds good on vocals, and Pat on the drums is great as always. So really, I think most of this album does a good job of being what it needs to be, and that is a fun pop rock album to jam out to over the summer. I was initially far more excited for this album than I was OK Human. Not that I wasn't excited for OK Human. It's just I love rock, and I love when Weezer does their big rock stuff. But this album, I think I much prefer OK Human to this. The writing on the album was so strong. The album was so beautiful. And I wasn't expecting Weezer to do so good with the experimental sound they were there. But they once again pull off the songs more akin to their roots. However, this album is also extremely, extremely front loaded. But we'll get into it. The first track is Hero, and I really don't think Hero should have been the opening track. The opening track definitely should have been the end of the game. I believe it was initially supposed to. We'll get into that when we get to the end of the game. But I don't have any problem with Hero. I think Hero is a really fun song. The pre-chorus in the song is amazing, and this was the second single off the album. And from the moment the song came out, I was a bit rocking on it at first, but I knew I loved the pre-chorus. It was just so good and did such a good job of building up to the chorus and helped that chorus pay off. Because I don't think the chorus itself is all that strong. Not to say it's bad, because I do think it is a good chorus, but the pre-chorus really helps propel that. And the pre-chorus is kind of sad and dark, and almost reminds me of like a Pinkerton-ish feel. And that's really great. But the rest of the song really has grown on me. Once again, the riffs are really cool. This is one of the few songs that has like a guitar solo in it, and I love the superhero references. That's very Rivers-esque, something Weezer would do, being the nerdy band they are, and me being a huge comic book guy. I really appreciated the references to like Iron Fist and Superman and Spider-Man, and having multiple identities. I thought that was pretty cool, and I think it was done very well and never seemed like cheesy or dumb or hokey. I think it came off exactly how Weezer wanted it to be, proving they really are still the same band that wrote songs like In the Garage. Following that, we have the second track, All the Good Ones, which again is just a pretty great song to just have fun to and relax. It's very big. I mean, it's got that big singable arena chorus. Of course, a lot of these songs are going to be very arena appealing for the Hella Mega Tour, which I am fortunate enough to have tickets to. That's the reason they made this album, is to help support that tour, to have these really big arena rock songs to really get the audience going, and this is one of them. It's got that huge chorus, all of the good ones are gone, that everyone can sing along to. It's got just such a nice, warm vibe to it, with the riff at the beginning, and the synthesizers, and the ooh, ooh, the whoops in the background, I think, do it a lot of justice to make it seem more chill and relaxed, and just such a warm, fun song to listen to. And I really love the way Rivers sings too. For some reason, the way he kind of elongates his vowels, like when he says thirsty. I don't know why. I just really appreciate that, and I just think it sounds cool. I like the vocal delivery on the song quite a bit. And this is really pretty much everything I like about Van Weezer. It's just a solid pop rock song with some big hooks and big choruses, some cool synths and some cool guitars, and some great riffs, and that's really what this album is all about. The End of the Game is the lead single off this album that we got all the way back in September of 2019, and this is far and away easily the best song on the album, and one of the best songs Weezer has made in general, to be honest. It's just amazing in every way, and I said this should have opened up the album, and I stand by that. Especially just because the song starts off with just like this ridiculous guitar noodling, that is something straight out of an 80s hair metal song, and it sets up the album so well, and that would have been such a good way to introduce the album as just Rivers shredding on the guitar, and that would have been such a good opening. And the second those riffs kick in, it makes me smile like an idiot every time. And once again, I love the lyricism on this song too. Rivers, it's just being classic Rivers and writing classic Weezer lyrics. Once again, they've got those like super specific nerdy references, like "You've Got Me Crying," like when Aslan died, which was a reference to The Legend of Narnia. And that's something Rivers would totally write. And I think he's at his best when he's writing like that, being a nerd, referencing the things he loves. Either that or when he's being really sad are his two kind of best writing styles. I mean, sometimes they come together, like in the Garage or Grapes of Wrath, but here I can just appreciate how much fun I have with the song. Everything about the song makes me smile. The huge, catchy chorus. Rivers' vocals sound amazing. I love the "ooh, hit me." One of my favorite parts of the song is when Rivers says, "I know that you will crank this song," air guitaring with your headphones on, and then he does a little like guitar lick, and it makes me smile every time. I'm like, you guys totally knew what you're doing. Or the harmonize when I felt sad, and then the background vocals harmonize. It's just cool little things like that that really show they paid attention to this song. And this was the perfect introduction to Van Weezer, the perfect lead single. And I'm glad we've had it for so long. One of my friends on Twitter said that it seemed like a song that was timeless. And I absolutely agree. This is easily the best song off of Van Weezer, but it's so much more than being a song on Van Weezer. This is a song that's forever going to stick out in the Weezer canon, I think, as just being excellent. Like I said, it's just the sunny melodies, the big riff, the guitars, the big chorus. It's just everything you could ever want out of a big rock Weezer song. And this is definitely going to be a stadium pleaser for sure. I pray to God they play this at Hell Omega. I wanna see Rivers just shred at the beginning of and end of this song. And also the outro has some pretty cool synthesizers on it, and like I said earlier, I really appreciate that. Then we have I Need Some of That, which is a song I did a full review on when it first dropped, like a week or two ago now. A lot of you saw that, but I am going to kind of elaborate here. I really enjoyed this song too. I loved how the synthesizers and guitars like intertwine with each other, and they almost become kind of one instrument here. And I think it's just a really interesting sound, and I like where it's going. This song lyrically is about reminiscing on your childhood and the things you used to love to do. Listening to Aerosmith, skating, all this stuff when you were back when he was just a little punk. And it's just once again another fun, very nostalgic, kind of lighthearted, warm song. And warm is a very good way to describe this. This is just a good song to cruise to with all the windows down and just chill and vibe and have some fun. And that's what Van Weezer is all about, is just having fun. And that's something I didn't realize at first because I was being too critical of it. I was looking for the next White Album, a rock masterpiece. That's not what I got. I got an album that's just supposed to have fun. It's not supposed to be taken so seriously. And I think a lot of people are missing that. It's not supposed to be, OK Human is an album that definitely wanted to be taken seriously. I do think releasing those two albums so close together was a bit of a mistake because it's definitely whiplash. And after the quality and kind of serious masterpiece that OK Human was, some Weezer fans aren't going to be able to just hear, what's supposed to be a fun, laid back rock album and be able to be like, what? This is trash, People aren't going to realize that there are two different things set out to do two very different objectives, and I think both of them handled them very well. And I think this album, for the most part, I'm going to keep repeating myself. I know I sound like a broken record, handled itself very well and really delivered on having fun. And this song does that too. Once again, it has one of those really big choruses. And the hook here with the harmonies sound great. That's the first thing that stuck out to me when I heard this song. I talked about it a lot on the track review I did, how good the harmonies sounded. I love how, even though they're bringing in this obvious huge Van Halen influence from so much 80s rock and hair metal, they still kind of tap on their old influences, such as the Beach Boys here, with a big harmonized hook. And it just sounds great. The Beginning of the End is another song I did a review of when it came out for the Bill and Ted soundtrack. And to this day, it's actually one of my most viewed videos, so I'm sure most of you have seen it. Oh, my speaker just shut off. I was just listening to this. Most of you have seen it, and my opinions have not changed. I still think this song is so much fun. I love how it builds up, how it starts off really kind of soft, but you can hear it kind of building to something bigger, and then when the guitars finally kick in, it feels so rewarding. That you just achieved that moment and got there. And the song, once again, is just so much fun. When the guitars do finally kick in, I love how it plays the lick and then Rivers kind of emulates it. So it's and then Rivers goes hoo hoo. It's just a great moment. And it once again just nails home the fact that this album is just supposed to be fun and you're supposed to have fun with it. And I love how the song at one point does get softer. I love the 1,500,000 years wouldn't be enough to dry these tears. And I love the melody there, sounds great. It's so emotion packed. And the softer moments here are beautiful, but when the bigger moments kind of come in and blow up, it like blows you away because the softer moments really earned the bigger explosions of sound. And riffage and rocking out, and the dynamic between the quieter and loud parts just works so well. Of course, Weezer knows how to do that. I mean, you just listen to a song like Say It Ain't So. Um, of course, Nirvana being a huge influence, and so are the Pixies. That's something, that they heard growing up and implemented in their own music and mastered for themselves. And I think you can really hear that in the beginning of the end. This song has a great guitar solo in it. And this is just an amazing song. It's one you have to hear for yourself. Now, this is a little extended from the version I talked about from the Bill and Ted soundtrack. I don't think the extension really adds too much. There's like maybe one or two lines. Maybe the guitar solo is a little longer, but I honestly just prefer the shorter version that's on the Bill and Ted soundtrack, the single we got months ago now. Um, Actually, almost a year ago at this point. Not to say this album cut isn't good, because it's still excellent in every way. It's still one of the best songs on the album, without a doubt. Probably my second favorite behind The End of the Game. Um, but yeah, I don't think the longer version really added too much. I don't know why they even bothered. That being said, there's one addition that annoys me, and it's not in the song itself. It's something that a lot of artists do in general. Don't add sirens into your song, please, because most people listen to music in the car, and especially with an album like this that you're supposed to roll down all the windows and crank super loud and jam out to and rock out to and enjoy. You put sirens on, and people start looking at you funny because they're like, oh shit, the fuzz. And then they look and it's just some kid listening to Weezer. Um, don't do that, please. Especially when you're like by yourself, it's embarrassing. But that's not really a criticism of this song. It's not going to knock this album any points. It's more of a criticism of musicians in general. Don't do that. Anyway, that's a tangent. Now, this is the point in the album where it loses me just a little bit. Not necessarily all the way enough to say it's bad per se, but I've got my problems. We get to Blue Dream, which is a song people talked about quite a bit. I believe they teased it on the Simpsons episode they appeared on. Everyone was talking about Blue Dream before it came out. Very excited to hear it. And on my first listen, I got to it. And what I got was, hey kids, you like Ozzy Osbourne? And they pretty much just completely and lazily rip off the Crazy Train riff. And it was just so disappointing to hear, and it just seemed so lazy, especially a song I was anticipating so much. That being said, it goes hard. It slaps so much. This song is so hard going. You just jam out to it. It's one of the heaviest moments on the album, and I can't dislike it, no matter how lazy it is. It's so good. Rivers gives one hell of a performance, and the melodies on the chorus are epic. It's just a rocker, and no matter, like I said, how cheesy it is, I can't hate it because it just bumps in the whip so goddamn hard to just crank it up and the and despite it pretty much just being Crazy Train, I don't care because it's Weezer doing Crazy Train, and they crush it. They're talented people, and they do a good job. But I'm still disappointed that Blue Dream, the song absolutely everybody was talking about, was fully kind of not original. And it's followed up by the track One More Hit. And I just want to read you the lyrics off of this song real quick. Alright. Pump it up into me. Please, daddy. Please, daddy. Pump it up into me. Rivers, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you going on about on this song? The lyrics are so bad, and it really is just like, what? Why would you write that? Why would the producers say, yeah, Rivers, that's okay? There were co-writers on this song. Why didn't anyone say, hey, Rivers, this is a bad idea? What? And this is definitely the heaviest song on the album, probably one of the most metal songs Weezer's ever made. There's even a fucking breakdown in it. And I don't know, I just think it sounds kind of hokey, kind of cheesy. I don't think they pull it off very well here. I think Weezer could pull this sound off. I think they could do a really good, like, true blue metal album if they tried. Maybe not, though. I don't know if Rivers really fits the really heavy metal aesthetic. He pulls off the cheesy 80 metals aesthetic, but here, it just feels so hokey when it, like, breaks down and it's, like, just, like, so heavy. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't like this song. This is the only song on the album that I really hate and think is really bad. But boy, it's pretty bad, isn't it? Luckily, we pull out of this slump for a little bit for Sheila Can Do It, which is just once again a really fun song. It was written way back for a Rivers Cuomo side project called Homie, which I believe was in between the Pinkerton and Green album eras, is when he was in Homie. Um, and yeah, this song is really good. Once again, really great synth play, some warm guitars, a really great, um, really just sugary, sweet melody that I think is just so appealing to the ears. And Rivers has some kind of vocal effect on, and you can hear it when he hits the lower notes in this track. But that's not a criticism. I think it sounds really good. It's not too much. It's just enough that it kind of adds to this really like sweet, warm feeling. Um, and of course, the melodies are sweet and the song sounds so sugary. It's a sugary love song. It's about Rivers watching this girl that just bees herself and does what she wants without a care in the world, and him just absolutely loving her for it. And I think that is a beautiful sentiment of just loving someone who is truly themselves and expresses themselves the way they want to. She's just having fun, and Rivers doesn't see a problem with that. And you know what? If Sheila can have fun, so can I. And I just think that is a sweet sentiment of a song. Um, She Needs Me is a song I don't really vibe with all that much. I think it's a little unremarkable, with exceptions of some moments. But the moments that aren't unremarkable just sound extremely cheesy. Like when the cowbell comes on the song, I'm like, why does there need to be a cowbell here? You're just making it sound so hokey, and you're trying too hard to kind of be 80s cheesy with the cowbell, and you kind of overshoot the point where it's fun, and you're getting into hokey, cheesy, kind of cringe territory, like, okay, Dad, calm down, you know. Um, that being said, it's far from the worst thing Weezer's ever made. It's no Can't Stop Partying, you know. It's not Love is the Answer or Troublemaker. Um, but it is certainly not Only in Dreams. It doesn't even compare to some of the best moments on this album, like the beginning and the end, or the end of the game. And then we leave off with Precious Metal Girl, which is a, once again, beautiful love song about, you know, a metalhead girlfriend. And this is another one that I was really excited to hear. And unlike Blue Dream, this one really did deliver. Weezer doesn't always do these kind of slow acoustic ballads. We only get a few. Um, you know, we've got Butterfly and Endless Bummer. Both are beautiful songs, and I think this is in the same echelon as those songs, just being this beautiful, acoustic, sweet closer. And I heard someone mention that Rivers Cuomo keeps trying to rewrite Butterfly, and I don't think so, because unlike Butterfly, this has a very positive feel to it. Butterfly is a fucking sad, depressing song from some weird, depressed nerd. This song is a sweet, kind of, I don't want to say melancholy, but emotional, and nice and very loving song. Very romantic. She's my precious metal girl. She's my best friend in the world compared to, I didn't mean to do any harm. I did what my body told me to. I'm sorry. This, I think, while it has a similar sound to Butterfly, there, being kick drums and not really much percussion and no bass and just an acoustic guitar, this song has a much more romantic and sweet vibe to it. And I think it kind of gets to be in the same echelon as Butterfly. Well, not quite as good. It gets to be kind of compared to it, I think, without being a ripoff, because it is such its own song, and I think is a beautiful closer to just such a fun and warm album. And I don't understand how anyone could hate this. I can understand how they could say it's mediocre, maybe, because some of these songs aren't always super remarkable in every way. But it's just supposed to be an album you have fun with. And sometimes it goes too far, like on She Needs Me or One More Hit, where you have to stop for a minute and be like, okay, this stops being fun and now it sounds cheesy, like on She Needs Me, or on One More Hit, you're just baffled by what the fuck Rivers is talking about. Why is Daddy pumping it into me? Oh my god. But most of this album is just supposed to be fun and lighthearted and warm and a great throwback to 80s hair metal like Van Halen. Um, and I can't recommend this album enough to anyone who likes just fun pop rock music, especially when summer really comes and it's warm. This will be a great album, like the White Album in a sense, to listen to when it's warm out and just have the windows down and vibe and jam out. While I will be skipping One More Hit and She Needs Me, the rest of this album is just solid. Um, it's a lot of fun. I've been listening to it a lot lately. I bought it on CD. It's one of my most scrabbled albums this week on Spotify and Last FM. I'm getting my vinyl soon. Hopefully it'll arrive. I have the blue glow in the dark. And I'm so excited to hear some of these songs live in an arena setting for the Hella Mega Tour. Specifically, The End of the Game is one I hope he plays, or they play. Being easily my favorite song on the album. While I don't think it's as good as OK Human, it's definitely one of the better albums that have come out this year. I haven't listened to too much this year as I've been, reacting to older stuff. But overall, this year has kind of bored me for music. There've been a couple really good albums. Of course, I reviewed a couple of the ones I really enjoyed, and some I didn't talk about, like Citizen. But I think Van Weezer stands as one of the best things I've heard this year. I'm feeling an A minus on it, honestly. Like I said, I didn't really care for it at first, but the more I listened to it, and the more I kind of chilled out and stopped taking it so goddamn seriously, you can just have a lot of fun with this album. And that's what this album was designed to be, just fun. And just, you'll stop enjoying music if you take everything so seriously. You need to remember to lay back and have fun. I know criticism is cool. I know sometimes it can be cool to be like, I don't like this shit. I only like super serious music. And you seem so edgy because you don't like what's popular and you don't like to have fun. But it's important to sit back and have fun sometimes. Shut your brain off and just enjoy an album of warm bangers. Um, and that's what Van Weezer is. Now, I'm starting to lose my voice because I'm so excited over talking about Weezer. Um, that being said, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about Van Weezer in the comments below. I can't believe I just talked for 30 minutes about this album. Subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you all next time.